In this video, we're going to look at factorizing expressions. Now, factorizing is just the opposite of expanding, which is what we've been working on. So for argument's sake, if we had 3, and then we have brackets x plus 2, and we were to expand that, we're going to get 3 times x, and then 3 times 2 is 6. So that is expanding. Now factorizing is looking at an expression and working out what they have in common. Well, 3x and 6 have the number 3 in common, because 3 times 2 is 6 and 3 times 1 is 3. So when we factorize something, we look for the highest common factor that the two terms have. So they have a 3 in common. So we put that out the front of brackets. And then we work out what's left over. Well, 3 times x gives us 3x, and 3 times 2 gives us 6. So this is the process of factorizing. This was the process of expanding. So, when factorizing, we look for the highest common factor. So negative 7 and negative 14. Well, they have 7 in common. They actually have negative 7 in common. So, we're going to have negative 7 times by x to give us negative 7x, and negative 7 times by positive 2 to give us negative 14. Now this one, what does these two terms have in common? Well, we have a 16 and a 4. They have I'm just going to write this off to the side to help us. They have a 4 in common. They also have an m in common. So they have 4m in common. So we're going to have 4m out the front. Now to get 16mn, we need to multiply 4m by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And then to get the n, we need to multiply it by n. So 14m times by 4m times by 4n is 16. mn. And now we want to get minus 4m squared. So what are we going to have to multiply 4m by to get negative 4m squared? Well, obviously we're going to need another m, because 4m times m is 4m squared. And we need the negative, so it has to be negative m. So 4m times negative m is negative 4m squared. So the more you do, the more you get the hang of it. So what do these have in common? 2 and 9 don't have anything in common, but we have an A, we have an A, we have a B, and we have a B. So we have, the only things we have in common is 1A and 1B each. So you don't have to circle it, I'm just doing that. So we've got A and B in common. Now to get 2A squared B, we need to multiply AB by 2 and by A, because A times A will give us the A squared. Now to get the 9AB squared, we need a 9, because AB times 9 will give us 9AB. But then we've also got B squared, so we also need to multiply it. We need a 9B. So if we were to expand this out, AB times 9B, it would be 9AB squared, because B times B is B squared. For the fourth one, 18 and 15, what do they have in common? They had not 5s, they have 3s in common. 3 6s are 18, and 3 5s are 15. So we can take out a common factor of 3. So 3 times 6x will give us 18x, and 3 times negative 5 will give us negative 15. So on to the next one. 12kx plus 21k. So they have 12 and 21. What do they have in common? What's their highest common factor? 3s, because 12 times 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times 7 is 21. So you do need to have a decent grasp of your times tables. So 12 is 3 times 4, What else do they have in common? They have k in common. So we can take out a 3k out the front. And then in order to get 12kx, we need to multiply 3k by 4 to get the 12k. And we also need to multiply it by x to get 12kx. To get the 21k, we're going to need to multiply this by 7 and positive 7. Sorry, I had to pause that. Okay, now this next one, what do they have in common? They have, well, 9 is 3 times 3, so they have a 3 in common. And they also have 1x in common. So highest common factor would be a 3x out the front. To get 9x squared, we need to multiply 3x by 3x. And to get 3xy, we need to multiply 3x by y. 3x times y is 3xy. So G, what do they have in common? No numbers in common. So all they have in common is the x. So we can take out a common factor of x. Now, I'm going to flip the order on this. So in order to get x squared, we're going to do x times x. And in order to get negative 4x, we're going to multiply x by negative 4. Now the final one, what do they have in common? 20 and 16, what do they have in common? They have 4's in common. 4 times 5 gives us 20, and 4 times 4 gives us 16. They also have an x in common, and they also have a y in common. So our highest common factor out the front would be 4xy. And then to get 20x squared, we're going to need to multiply it by 5 to go 4 times 5 is 20. And to get x squared, we're going to have to multiply it by 5x. And then to get 16xy squared, we're going to need to multiply 4 by 4 to get 16. And we're going to need to multiply y by y to get y squared. So 4xy times 4y is 16xy squared. It works. So whenever you factorize, you can expand it out just to check. So for argument's sake, if I wanted to check this one, I'll do 3x times 3x, which will give me 9x squared. And then 3x times y will give me 3xy. So I hope that made sense. Come see me if you have any issues. Have a go at questions 1 and 2 on page 160. Cheers.